To
bless us as we make decisions on the betterment of our tribe, and just be with the council members, outgoing council members, and the speaker, and the co-speaker, and the secretary, and just be with their families, dear Lord, and just guide and lead them to stay involved with the tribe. Just thank you for the veterans who make it possible for us to be here. Ozali Haley, Kohei's son. Amen.
Shelley, will you go ahead and call the roll?
Yes, ma'am. Jack Baker.
Here.
Harley Buzzer.
Here.
Joe Bird.
Ani.
Julia Coates. Here. Jody Fishinghawk.
Here.
Janelle Fulbright. Present. Don Garvin. Frankie Hargis. Present. China Glory Jordan.
Present.
Lee Keener. Dick Lowe.
Here.
Curtis Snell.
Here.
Janice Taylor. Here. David Thornton. David Walkingstick. Kara Cowan Watts. We do have a quorum.
Okay. You have the minutes of July 29, 2015 in your packet. Do I hear a motion?
I make a motion to be approved.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. Are there any corrections or amendments? All those in favor can signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed? Ayes have it. See, Mr. Lay, I believe you have a motion.
Yes, Madam Speaker, if we could amend the agenda to include four resolutions, one from Health, one from Community Service, two from Resources Committee. I'd like to make that in form of a motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second by Frankie to amend the agenda and place before this body the four agenda items that came out of our different committees this afternoon. Do I hear any comments, questions? All those in favor can signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed? Ayes have it. We will add those as agenda items 1, 2, 3, and 4 under new business. I believe at this time we'll have State of the Nation by Deputy Chief S. Joe Crittenden tonight. I'm on the wrong deal. Did I get
Thank God we got a little substance. Gary ain't even here tonight.
And I think I said that was July 30th.
Done a great job. Thank you, Jody. It's just a great job.
Could I do one housekeeping just before? I actually was in the wrong part of my book. That was the July 30th minutes. So all minds are clear. You approved the July 30th minutes that are in the. Okay, thank you.
Madam Speaker, I am a guest here. This is the council's meeting, so if you need to do some house cleaning, you just do it, okay? OCO, welcome to the August council meeting. As you know, and already been announced, I'm substituting for Chief Baker. He's in traveling status. He's coming back from the Pacific Northwest. He traveled to meet with at-large community groups in Portland and Seattle this weekend. Since it hasn't been too long since we last met, there's not a whole lot of highlights tonight, so this won't take long. We did dedicate the new Macy's Fulfillment Center last week in Owasso. The Cherokee Nation played a key role to attract this project to Oklahoma. Macy's will employ about 2,500 people, and many of those will be Cherokees. Additionally, our career services team is working to help place those employees for Macy's. Plans are in place for our 63rd annual Cherokee National Holiday. We want to make sure everyone has this in their plans for Labor Day weekend. Another celebration is in place for August the 14th. That's when we host the Cherokee Nation inauguration for Chief, Deputy, Chief, and Tribal Council. It will be a wonderful celebration at Sequoia High School, and it will be streamlined online as well. The event starts at 10:30. Finally, on behalf of Chief Baker and myself, I want to recognize and thank Speaker Tina Glory Jordan and Councilors Julia Coates, Jody Fishenhawk, Janelle Fulbright, Lee Keener, and Kara Cowan Watts for their commitment and service to the Cherokee Nation and our tribal citizens. Let's give them a hand. The next part of the State of the Nation is the names of those that have left us since our last meeting. I'm going to start here with someone from Pryor. Larry Baker of Pryor, Robert Berridge of Salem Springs, Sarah Blossom of Tahlequah, Raymond Botts of Tahlequah, Ben Chukalate of Stillwell, Perry Collins of Tahlequah, Carl Creekkiller of Pryor, Joshua Crittenden of Tahlequah, George Davis of Grove, Rhonda Davis of Tahlequah, Daniel Donahoe of Owasso, Justin England of Jay, Ruth Foreman of Grove, Timothy Glenn of Grove, Elizabeth Granzella of Tahlequah, Bonnie Harlow of Tulsa, Davis Harris of Tulsa, Marjorie Hipp of Claremore, Patsy Lemaster of Tulsa, Mary Morgan of Welch, Deborah Moten, Rosalie Nichols of Nowata, Ramona Peoples of Sperry, Annie Pettit of Nowata, Jason Ragsdale of Fort Gibson, Thomas Reinhardt of Nowata, Eugene Summerfield of Grove, Willie Van of Tahlequah, Randall Hammer of Westville, Jerry Hewen of Park Hill. Are there others? Yes, Kara.
I waited because I think last month it wasn't mentioned either, but Carol Richmond of Tulsa, who was on the Cherokee Nation Foundation Board, but also Donald Ray Fourkiller St. John of Bartlesville, who passed away at 66 on July 13th, and he was a veteran. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Watts. Are there others? Curtis.
Yeah, Adam Glenn from Kansas, Oklahoma, and Autumn Cochran and her baby child. They killed in a car wreck Friday night. Thank you.
Yes, Jack.
Yes, Pam Wilkerson Jones of Granby, Missouri.
Are there others?
Liz Ryder of Cookson.
Any more? Let's have a moment of silence for the departed. Thank you. And that concludes the State of the Nation, Madam Speaker.
Would you continue on, Deputy Crittenden, with the Warrior Awards?
I would glad to, ma'am. This evening we have two veterans, and they're both with us. I'd like to ask Council Member Jody Fishenhawk to help me with this first one, if she would. Our first veteran this evening is a gentleman who lives not far from me, and I've known him since grade school. And that is Bobby Swepston. Bobby, would you come down, sir? Wait right here. I'm going to read about you a minute. Bobby Swepston joined the U.S. Army March 2, 1959. He was sent to basic training at Fort Hood, Texas, and from there to Fort Gordon, Georgia, for advanced training for military police. His next duty assignment was Camp Hanford, Washington, where he attained top military clearance for the Hanford Energy Commission. He was sent to Augsburg, Germany, where he served with the military police. While there, he was bivouacked for 29 days while waiting for orders from President John F. Kennedy to fly to Africa to assist troops there during a time of turmoil in the area. Orders were terminated before he had to depart, and he remained in Germany until he was honorably discharged April 5, 1962. He remained in the Army Reserve until March 1, 1965. And Bobby, I want to thank you, sir, for your service to this country. Now, let's go right over there. Okay. Bobby. Thank you, sir. Good service. This is your warrior award. Something you earned for serving this country. And here's a letter in here that tells you how to go about filling out your information and getting a break for the warrior award. Okay. Turn around here and we'll get some pictures. Now, I know you've got lots of family up there. You want some of them in the picture, or all of them?
If they want to be in the picture.
Anybody wants to get a picture from that family, come on down, please. Get right in here with that. Bobby, would you like to say anything about
No, I just
your service or your award?
I just appreciate everything that you did for us.
You're welcome. We appreciate you serving our country, sir.
Okay.
Thank you again. And if I could have the at-large council members come and help with this one. Thank you. And this one, I'll hold on to that other one. Okay. And our next veteran is a gentleman named Garl Willis. Garl, would you come down, sir? Would you stand right over by Jack? And I'll read about you here. When I first saw this information, I thought we had a typo, but I asked him and he said his name was really Garl Willis. I thought it was Carl, so it's my mistake. He enlisted in August 1970 into the United States Army. During basic training, he was recruited by Explosive Ordnance Disposal and was assigned to Fort Vancouver Reserve Center in Washington, where he was responsible for the state of Oregon. He supported the police department with explosive ordnance that they found or the public turned in, and he also worked with the United States Secret Service. His next duty assignment was Fort Riley, Kansas. He was honorably discharged in 1973. Garl Willis re-enlisted in 1981 and was assigned to the 101st Airborne Air Assault in Fort Campbell, Kentucky. He went to jungle expert training at Fort Sherman, Panama, where he earned his expert infantry badge. He volunteered for the EOD, Explosive Ordnance Disposal, and went to school in Indian Head, Maryland. He was assigned to the 66th EOD Department at Cape Canaveral, Florida. He was honorably discharged in August 1984. He received the EOD Supervisor's Badge, Expert Infantry Badge, Expert Rifle Badge, Sharpshooter, Mortar 81 millimeter, Army Service Ribbon, Good Conduct Medal, National Defense Service Medal, and the Army Commendation Medal. Mr. Willis, thank you, sir, for your service to this country.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it. Yes, sir. Here's your Warrior Award. And that goes with your ribbon, your medal. And also, this is the application and all for the bridge. Oh, okay. Can be placed for you memorial. Thank you very much. Would you like to get someone to come down with my wife's signature? Come on down. Okay? Okay.
Speech.
Would you like to say something for us?
Just that I'm honored to be here tonight. I feel it's a privilege to serve our country. Thank you, sir.
Madam Speaker, that's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on in. See no unfinished business. We'll move on into our committee reports. We heard from the Housing Authority Deputy Director this afternoon, so we're going to move into our Cherokee Nation businesses. Our CEO, Sean Slayton, will come forward.
Good evening, Council. Be reporting on May and June on the financial results. 12.7 million net income in the month of May, and 8.2 million in the month of June. So we've had a really good spring and start to the summer. July is also finishing strong as well. In addition to that, we contributed a little over $300,000 in tax collections to the Tax Commission. Our projects are progressing, some of them faster than others. A couple of them are slow. The clinic up at J and finishing up the man killer clinic soon, we hope. We're also still working down at Roland on the hotel. We begun to demo the old casino, and we'll move over to the hotel, and that will really help the parking situation down there, as well as to help it clean up that facility. We, sentimental seeing it go. It's served the nation and our people and customers well there for many years. Cherokee Nation 3S, a company within our environmental and construction portfolio, was recently named Professional Service Firm of the Year during the Oklahoma Minority Enterprise Development Week. The company was evaluated based on its capabilities, capacity, financial standing, past performance, and commitment to quality relationships. Within the past year, they have received more than $6.9 million in awards from clients such as the BAA and the Oklahoma Military Development, U.S. Air Force, United States Department of Agriculture, the Department of Justice, and the FAA. The company began with only one employee in 2011 and now has a staff of 25 full-time employees supporting the industries such as environmental manufacturing, education and training, and engineering and logistics. They've done a fine job in such a short time. Our job situation, currently we have 6,505 employees, 4,748 when you exclude the contract and temporary employees that work for the government. Our Cherokee percentage is 74.1, with other Native American at 8.0, for a total of 82.1 Native American employment. So With that, I'll conclude my report and answer any questions.
Are there questions?
I just have a comment.
Yes.
John, I just want to commend you on the increase in the employment with our Cherokee people. I know here in just a few years ago, we were about 54, 55%, and we've really increased that. And that's a good sign that there's opportunities for our people.
Thank you. Credit goes to our hiring people and our operations people.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Councilman Fisher-Funk?
Yes.
Council
Well,
Lady?
this might be my last council meeting to tell you, to echo what Joe Bird has just now said. Up until your reign as CEO, I don't think Indian preference or Cherokee preference was taken very seriously at the tribe. And under your command, we've raised it from 50% over at the business side to 73, 75% Cherokee, and over 82% Indian employment. And I'm really proud of that. And all the while, you also believed and backed Taro, and you managed to do this while setting record profits, and I commend you for it.
Thank you again. The credit goes to our people. They've really worked hard to do that.
It's been an honor to serve with you, sir.
Thank you.
There's not much I could add to what the two of them just said. I've just been very happy with how the businesses have done for the last almost 4 years now. With your leadership, we've just grown by leaps and bounds, and I appreciate your friendship and your leadership.
Thank you.
I've got a comment.
Yes.
I hate to say the same thing over and over, but I've got to reiterate what all that they said, especially the employment of Cherokee is higher than it's ever been, and the profits have been outstanding. And as always, being chair of the health committee is always looking out for the profits and the money, and it's all been spent in the right direction. And I think you've done a wonderful job at the helm. Thank you, John.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Any questions or comments? Thank you, John.
I would like to say it's been my privilege and pleasure to work with this council in the past. If you look back at where we started in 2000 and what was it, 7 or 8 when you came aboard, a lot of you. We've really made a lot of progress, and I say it everywhere I go. It takes everybody working together to make this happen. It takes our people, our employees, our board, our leadership, it takes administration, and certainly it takes the support of the council for us to be able to do what we've done. And I think you look around the table and there's times when we don't agree with each other or those kind of things, but when it comes down to getting the work of the people done, I feel like this council in the past has always come together to give us the resources that we need to do that. And I just want to say we appreciate that, and we wish everybody that's leaving the best of luck. And for those that are coming in, we look forward to working with them, and get ready because we've got a lot going and a lot to do. Thank you.
Thank you, Sean. Okay, that's going to move us down to old business, and I see none pending. That'll move us right into new business, and we'll be working from our handout for the 4 items of business tonight. Out of health, Ms. Frankie, would you take that?
This is a resolution authorizing the submission of a grant application for the Special Diabetes Program for Indian Country, and I put that in form of a motion.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and second. Again, this came out of health earlier this afternoon. Are there questions or comments? All those in favor can signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed? Ayes have it. Ms. Janelle, will you take number 2?
Yes. This is a resolution approving and authorizing the submission of the fiscal year 2016 Indian Housing Plan to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. I put this in the form of a motion and ask that it be approved.
Okay, we have a motion and second on the Indian Housing Plan. Do we have questions or comments that came out of community service this afternoon? All those in favor can signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Ayes have it. Mr. Walkingstick, will you take number 3?
Yes. This is a resolution authorizing the acceptance of land in trust at Oaks Mission School, Rocky Ford, 5 acres. I put that form of motion. Second.
Yes. So we have a motion and a second. That's number 3. Or comments?
I'd just like to be added as a sponsor.
Okay. We'll put Julia on as a sponsor. Did we have anyone else, or is everybody else already on as a sponsor that wants to be? Okay. Questions or comments? Again, that came out of resource this afternoon. All in favor can signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed? Ayes have it. Okay, number 4 is a resolution also coming out of resource. Ms. Janelle, will you take that?
Yes, thank you. This is a resolution authorizing Cherokee Nation Information Technology Department to donate surplus office equipment to Moffett Police Department in Sequoyah County, and I move for its approval.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and second to number 4 that came out of resource this afternoon. Are there questions or comments? All those in favor can signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Ayes have it. I would like to take just a minute and give each one of our outgoing counselors an opportunity if they would like to say anything. I believe we have 6 that are leaving the council, and I'd like to start with Miss Julia down here.
I just want to thank the at-large people in particular. We have some folks here tonight. We have Phyllis Spears from Tucson. We have Roger Grass from Lancaster, California. And I know there are many others watching. It's been a real honor to have served on your behalf, on behalf of the at-large citizens of this nation who do comprise the majority of the people who are citizens of the Cherokee Nation. And I've said it at so many community meetings, it takes a lot of effort for the at-large folks to remain involved and to remain connected, and it's very gratifying to see how very many of them do continue to make that effort. I've tried to advocate as strongly as I possibly could on your behalf, and I appreciate the trust and the honor that you've given me in these 8 years, and I hope that I have fulfilled your trust in me, and I thank you. Thanks.
Thank you. Ms. Kara?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I just want to thank everyone, especially our Rogers and Tulsa County Cherokees, who've given me the honor and privilege of serving 3 consecutive terms. It has truly been a pleasure to represent not just those folks, but the rest of the Cherokee Nation on this body. And at times, even when it was a challenge, it was truly a blessing, and I always look at this part of my life as something that was successful, I hope, not just for me, but for the folks that I served. I want to say particularly that I appreciate the staff of our government and businesses who quietly serve the Cherokee Nation and our people, often without fanfare each day. You are noticed, not just by elected leadership, but our constituents and those that you serve with such passion. And I'll miss my colleagues who have graciously served with me and consistently extended their hand in friendship and respect. You will be missed in my daily work life as I return to my engineering career. And I pray for all levels of leadership throughout the Cherokee Nation and wish our tribe and communities much success as we move forward. Thank you, Widow.
Councilman Keener.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I, too, would like to echo those same sentiments and thank you for the honor and privilege of representing what started out as District 5, then turned to District 14, Tulsa and Rogers County. It has been a privilege. I wish every citizen could experience being on council. And with that, I say, we're done.
Jody? Yes, I'd like to thank Adair County, and I guess Delaware and Otto County at one time, for allowing me the privilege to serve you all. I'd also like to say thank you to the great employees we have over here at the Nation.
No.
I want to thank everybody that lives in Sequoia County. My first term covered the whole county. The last part didn't, but I really enjoyed serving the people, and I felt like I made a big difference in many, many lives, but mainly it made a difference in me. I love being a servant. I love helping people, and what meant the most was the feeling in my heart when I was able to accomplish something that I knew it was really helping someone. I'm very proud of the accomplishments that we made, and especially in our healthcare system, all the improvements. We've had them made throughout the 14 counties. Down in Sequoia County, we have a fabulous dialysis center that we never had before, and we really improved our clinic, made it bigger, and I've just enjoyed my work on the council this past 8 years. I thank everybody, and everybody has been very nice and congenial to me, and especially our office staff. These girls and gentlemen do a really good job, and we all appreciate them. And I've just enjoyed working for the Cherokee Nation. Thank you.
Well, I want to take this opportunity to thank all of Cherokee Nation, all of the staff, in particular our staff in the legislative branch. Time and time again, they've risen to the occasion to assist us in being a strong legislative body. I want to thank everybody on this council. It was at times very contemptuous, I guess we'd call it, but you know what? It gave us the whole picture. I like the fact that we had oppositions at times when we needed to see the whole picture, and that's been good. Give and take is always good. I've enjoyed the last 8 years. I want to thank my leadership team. These two ladies couldn't have done it without both of them at my side. They've always been able for me to see the greater picture. Cherokee County and Wagner County, I love the constituents. And I'll be right here amongst them from now on, as I've always been my whole life. I hoped I've helped a little bit. Believe I've helped a few, and I loved working with the individuals. That's the part that I liked the most, was being able to make a difference in someone's life, whether it would be our health expansions, whether it would be our scholarships, whether it would be new housing. The littlest things. First thing I worked on was getting somebody $15 so that they could drive back and forth to the VOTEC to learn how to become a coder. And to this day, they still work within that field and support their family. And it was just getting them that $15 so that they could get to school. We could pay for the school, but we had the hardest time trying to figure out how to get her there. I think someone told me once, you need to leave the woodpile just a little bit higher than when you found it, and I think this group has. I wish you all well. I'm very hopeful. I see the new people coming in. I think you're going to have good people. You're a strong body. We've become very strong over the last 8 years. The little three-legged stool that I always gave an example of, it's equal legs now, and I'm very happy about that. It didn't used to be that way, but now you can sit on that stool. Before you couldn't. It was going to topple you. I'm very happy with that. We'll miss you all. I truly believe when a door closes, another door opens in your life. That's always the way it's been in my whole career. So let's wait and see what the next door has for all 6 of us. And the rest of you, thank you all very much for your service. You're doing a good job. Appreciate it. If there's not any other announcements, thank you. All right, we have a motion to adjourn. Do we have a second? All those in favor? Next month, new day. Thank you all.